Oh, what is going on, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk, a developing story, a follow-up from yesterday where 4 Fortnite pro players were each handed 60-day bans from Epic Games, the longest-standing pro player bans given out ever since, if you want to include a guy like FaZe Jarvis with his permanent Fortnite ban. Yes, they were actually all banned for cheating / what was actually teaming and colluding during the Fortnite Champion Series, and I would say rightfully so. Some people out there, including pro players, trying to argue against this, either them saying they didn't cheat at all or others saying that their ban was a bit too harsh, and I could not disagree more. You guys, of course, can leave your thoughts down below, and I greatly welcome it as the debate does continue. We actually have pro players out there thinking that these pro players got banned too harshly for cheating in a cash event, of an event out there which actually had substantial prize money in it. They cheated, and pros actually think they didn't cheat or they deserved a lesser punishment. No. First of all, in my opinion, I think Epic Games does agree. Whether this goes on in scrims and pros do this on a day-to-day basis in a tournament format or an event put on by Epic Games, they will not allow you to trade storm surge damage. You are attacking, please give me your perspective on this. You are blatantly attacking an opponent, not with the intent to kill them, but to trade damage back and forth. You are abusing a rule set for your own personal benefit and an unfair advantage for other teams who can't do the same thing. You are breaking the rules and you don't expect a punishment. Yes, it's a form of cheating. Whenever people hear cheating, they think of aimbot and kind of a more serious notion. If you are colluding and using other teams for your own benefit back and forth and abusing that rule set in a very, very unfair way, that is cheating and you deserve to be punished, especially with an official Fortnite event. Now, I will agree, though, this kind of was set up by failure or for failure by Epic Games, because when it comes to Ziff and Ronaldo, when they cheated in the World Cup qualifiers for the biggest ever esports event ever put on, they cheat during those qualifiers and are only banned for 14 days. Epic Games put the message out there saying, okay, pro players, you can cheat, you can collude for thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line eventually. We're only going to ban you for 2 weeks, which means you can actually come back and eventually, like they did, Ziff and Ronaldo qualified for the World Cup event. That put the image in pro players' heads that, hey, we can do this and get away with it, and it's probably worth the risk. It was set up for failure because back in the day, that punishment should have banned them throughout the entire qualifiers. It was way, way too lenient and way too light of a punishment. And now, finally, Epic Games is stepping up, and I think rightfully so. So pro players out there, we know what's going on. It is not only these 4 players that were banned just yesterday for 2 months' time for the entirety of FNCS, and beyond that, there are many pro players who hide it better, don't make it near as obvious, and the Epic Games has not cracked down on. Hopefully this punishment can set an example, just like the Jarvis ban did, that, hey, you can't do this anymore. Epic Games does not control what goes on in scrims, but clearly they see this as a form of teaming and colluding. So it no longer matters what pro players think. If you trade storm surge damage, if you do things like this, that is teaming, that is colluding, that is cheating, and it will get you banned for a substantial amount of time, which I am totally in agreement with. There is no way that you give them 2-week bans any longer, and this should be a message going forward for any Fortnite pros who think they should be cheating. Maybe it won't be worth it. That's the overall message, and it should be spread that maybe we should not be doing this, because if everyone did this, then what's the point? To me, it's Epic Games finally stepping up, and I hope they keep this punishment now level and grounded for all pros who act out. Like I said yesterday, there have been several pro players with accusations which nothing ever came of, so I do feel a bit bad for these 4 players in that instance. I do think the punishment is a bit harsh, but it's also deserved, and it should be deserved by other pro players who do the same exact thing. You guys, of course, can leave your stance down below. Finally, Epic Games stepping up, and hopefully this message is spread across and other pro players realize that you just can't do these kind of things and get away with them. Epic and Fortnite cannot continue to dump millions of dollars into the scene and expect pros to come back after a short period of time after cheating, and so they're now finally upping their punishments as to what other esports games would be doing as well. In fact, this is actually still not even close to what other esports have done. We've talked about CSGO, we've talked about League of Legends. They hand out year-long, 2-year, if not lifetime bans for similar cheating issues. Yes, battle royales and teaming and colluding is really kind of only for battle royales. When it comes time for other bans, though, like CSGO, if you match fix, you're done for life. Albeit at the end of this discussion, I do still feel bad for a guy like Jarvis, because you got to realize that there were Fortnite pros cheating inside cash events for prize money. Meanwhile, Jarvis was aimbotting in some pugs and he's banned for life. I still think that seems a bit harsh, but albeit that's how Epic Games runs things. They do things so sporadically. I think here for these 4 players, they will learn the lesson. They will come back stronger than ever and realize that if you are on a team, you can use your teammate. You cannot use other teams to your advantage. That is very clearly against the rules. Of course, very curious what you guys think about this. There are certainly 2 sides to the argument, and you guys know where I stand on this one. Until next time, drink your coffee, drink your water. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon.